Okay, good morning, class. Last time we were doing the chapter on equality, the civics chapter, where we had finished off the various types of equality, the political, social, and economic equality. And India has to strive for equality still, though it is, people believe, but yet there are a lot many differences. Then we talked of uh, a Dalit writer called Om Prakash Valmiki, who in his book called Juthan had written about the instances which took place while he was a child, how his teacher treated him just because he was of a low caste. He was asked to do the entire sweeping of the classroom and school, etc. He had come for studies, but he was asked by the teacher to do the menial jobs. This had disappointed him. Then we talk of today equality and dignity. Now, what is dignity? Basically, dignity means your attitude towards certain things, like your mannerism, how well qualified you could be for a dignify. It's a self respect you're talking of. So here we are. Dignity means self respect or regard of a person in terms of his caste and religion. When persons are treated unequally, their dignity is violated, as it had happened with Om Prakash Gandhi when he was younger and studying in school, where his teacher ordered him to sweep the school instead of studying because of his lower caste. Om Prakash Valmiki's schoolmates and teachers hurt his dignity badly and made him feel that he was less than equal to all other students in the school. The dignity of poor people and the people belonging to lower caste is often violated due to their low standard or as compared with other people of the society. All the people of society deserve the same respect and dignity. There should be no feeling of inequality, and we should give equal regard to all the people of our society. So here they are telling you that dignity has a very specified meaning where people have the self respect, and if you do not honor that self respect, then it is wrong on our part to have done that. And the incident is quoted with the same reason where Om Prakash Valmiki was ill-treated by his teacher and his friends who considered themselves to be superior and made Om Prakash do all the low jobs in the school. This had disrupted the dignity of the person. The self-respect was hurt. So all the people in the society should be treated equally and should be given the respect that they have. With same respect, we should treat all. One should not be discriminating among each other. Then we talk of the new heading called Equality and Indian Democracy. Now, in this we talk of the government has made many efforts to ensure equality. That means government is trying its level best. It is given in the constitution also that all should be treated equally. Everyone belongs to any caste, race, religion, and area is equal before law and government. So, in front of law and in front of the government, everyone, irrespective of what caste they belong to, what creed, what color, what language, what religion they follow, each one has the right to be equal. The Constitution of India recognizes every person as equal. As I told you,
You see, ma'am,
Indian Constitution is a set of written laws. Yes,
ma'am, your voice is not coming clearly.
the mics are open, child. There are many mics which are open. I can see it also.
No, ma'am, they're not mics open.
I checked it 5 minutes before. Now is it okay? Now is the voice coming?
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Please switch off your mics. So the constitution is the set of written laws, and the government who comes to power in India has to follow the constitution. And in the constitution, it is written that all should be treated equally. There is not easy. This is not easy to say that inequality ceases to exist. It does not. But in Indian democracy, the principle of equality of all persons is recognized. Earlier, there was no law to protect the low caste people for discrimination and ill treatment. Now there are several provisions to see that people are treated with dignity and as equals. So now they are telling you, though Indian democracy has various laws, yet their inequality is still there. It persists, and so it is the moral duty of everyone to protect that law of equality and should work accordingly. And it is the duty of the government to follow and treat all with dignity and as equals. Okay. Now we come on to provisions made by the Constitution. What provisions does Indian Constitution have? Let us see. As we all know, all people are equal in the Indian democracy, as it is also stated in the preamble to the Constitution that there is equal status and opportunity to all the people of India. This recognition of equality includes some of the following provisions in the Constitution. So now Constitution is a set of written laws, and in that it is very clearly written that certain provisions are there where all should be treated equally, especially the lower castes, the people who are poor, the downtrodden. So the first point which is given in the Constitution, every person is equal before law. That means from the president to a democratic worker, to a domestic worker, everyone has to obey the same laws. So all the people of India, whether rich or poor, the president, who's the first person of a country, that person and a domestic worker like the Kamwali Bai in our house, both have equal laws. They have to follow the same laws. They have to abide by the same laws. Number two, no person can be discriminated on the basis of his or her religion, caste, creed, place of birth, etc. So every person has to be treated equally. Number three, every person has access to all public places, including playgrounds, hotels, shops, and markets. All persons can use wells, roads, and bathing ghats available for public. So here they are saying that every place which is a public gathering is open for all. Earlier, the lower caste people were not allowed to enter the temple or a mosque or a church or a gurudwara. But now, nobody can stop anyone. All can go to any place, playground, hotel, shop, markets, religious places, bathing ghats, roads, wells, etc. All could be used by everyone. Now, this is what the Constitution has provided us. Now we come on to the ways adopted by the government to implement equality. That means what are the techniques government is using so that there is equality in its people. Let us see. The government has adopted two measures to implement the equality that is guaranteed in the Constitution. First is by making laws. Now, it is the duty of the government to make such laws where all should be treated equally. Earlier, there was untouchability. That means the lower caste, even if they touched, the higher caste used to think that they are impure now. They took a bath again and then they began their day. But now, nobody can do that. So let us see, the government has made many laws to protect the people from the problem of inequality. For example, according to Untouchability Acts, no person can discriminate any other on the basis of caste. If any person is found doing so, then it will be punishable act. he or she may be punished under the Untouchability Act. So the government has made laws, untouchability law has been made, act has been made that nobody can discriminate other human being. You cannot behave in a discarding way for the lower caste. Then the second measure which the government has undertaken is the various government programs and schemes. The government has launched several programs or schemes to help disadvantaged communities. In addition to laws, the government has also set up several schemes to improve the lives of community and individuals who have been treated unequally for several centuries. One of the steps taken by the government includes the midday meals, which refers to the program introduced in all government elementary schools to provide children with cooked lunch. This program has many advantages, such as more poor children have begun enrolling and regularly attending school. This reduces caste prejudice as both lower and upper caste children eat together. Sometimes Dalit women have been employed to cook the meal. So now comes a very important scheme by the government. Government is working head to toes for uplifting the life of the poor people to avoid discrimination between the upper caste and the lower caste. All should be treated equally. And under one such scheme is the midday meal scheme. And this in the lunch time, the midday, that means the lunch is provided in the elementary government schools. That means the schools which are run for children by the government and especially in the villages, etc. Everywhere now midday meal is given. That means दोपहर का खाना उनको मिलता है बच्चों को. Now this has encouraged because the poor people, they never used to send their children because they made their children work. They used to send them to work so that they can have some money. But now with this scheme, when they are getting food, so parents have also started sending their poor children to school so that at least they could get little food during the lunch time. So the midday meals are provided. And this scheme has helped because it has given chance that the children of the upper caste sit along with the children of the lower caste. So this helps in uh, bridging up the gap between the rich and the poor, upper caste and the lower caste. And many a times, the Dalit woman, that means woman of a lower caste, is employed to cook the food so that the work is done and all should not feel bad about it. Okay. Now, here they are talking of Tamil Nadu was the first state in India to introduce the midday meal scheme. In 2001, the Supreme Court made it compulsory to all state governments to begin this program in their state within 6 months. So please underline this. Tamil Nadu was the first state who came up with this brilliant idea of midday meals. Okay. Now the government has made several efforts to maintain equality of opportunity. Equality of opportunity again means where you are giving equal opportunities for everyone to compete and gain knowledge and to earn your livelihood by acquiring that post. There is still much to be done because in several schools, Dalit children are still discriminated and ill treated due to their lower caste. Often, such news is spread that the children of upper caste refuse to eat with Dalit children or they are often opposed to eat the food cooked by a Dalit woman. This evil can only be eradicated after changing our beliefs and attitudes. So they are telling you many a times in many a places it has been seen that the children of the upper caste they refuse to sit with the children of the lower caste. Many a times even the objection was raised that why are the Dalit women cooking food? So what we need first is we need to change our attitude towards the lower caste people. We need to change our belief. that there is no such system called upper caste and lower caste. All are born equal, all should be given equal rights. One of the main reasons of ill treatment or discrimination against low caste people is that attitudes of people change very slowly. Although people know that discrimination is against the law, still that practice is going on. They continue to treat people unequally on the basis of their caste, religion, disability, economic status, and because they are women. Please switch off the mic. It is only when people begin to believe that no one is inferior and that every person deserves to be treated with dignity, a real equality comes about. Establishing equality in a democratic society is a continuous struggle and one in which individuals as well as various communities in India are to contribute. So every individual has to contribute. Why? Because changing this attitude of thinking that all are equal is, you know, is such a belief which changes very slowly. Now you and me, we cannot make our Kamwali bai sit on a sofa and have tea with us. Why? Because there is a mindset in our minds, in our attitude, that we cannot do this. She's supposed to sit on the floor. This is what we believe. And this mindset has to change. This mindset has to gradually, you know, with knowledge, with proper guidance, has to be removed. There should be no discrimination between rich and poor, higher society and lower society. And even every individual should work for it. The democratic societies, not just the government, but the people of India should work accordingly for this same cause. And if it is not done, then it is of no use because the government cannot do everything all by its own. So then we now talk of equality in other countries. How the other countries are following equality, let us see that. Inequality not only exists in India but also exists in other parts of the world. So now they are saying that equality is a status where inequality is being. Guncha Khan, please either you switch off your mic or I'm removing you. Guncha, have you heard? I don't want guests coming to this. Either you enter with your name or you are gone. Have you heard? Can you see this screen here? So then they are talking of the various other countries which follow the principle of equality, but yet they are struggling. So, for example, Sri Lanka and the USA. Now, in Sri Lanka, there is inequality based on the language. Okay, the people, the language they speak, according to it, people are discriminating the others. There, more weightage is given to Sinhala, that means Sri Lankan Tamils speaking people, as compared to Indian Tamil. Here, Sinhala have given more weightage to government jobs and other. Mohammed Zidan, will you please switch off your mic? मुझे तुम्हारे पापा की बातें नहीं सुननी है. He's shouting and everything is getting recorded. Father sees all these videos. So your name will go there now. In the middle of the class, you're opening your mic. So the people who are following the Guncha, now you. I stopped the class. I'm not taking anymore. I wanted to finish this chapter, but these children are continuously disturbing. Guncha, can you hear me? Guncha, can you hear me? This is called disturbing the class. So the Sri Lankans who speak Sinhala, that is the language of the Sri Lankan Tamil, they are regarded of a higher esteem instead of the others who are looked down upon. The other Indian Tamils are not given the opportunity also. Then in the United States of America, the African Americans whose ancestors were the slaves who were brought over from Africa continue to describe their lives today as largely unequal and discriminated on the basis of their color and race. So then there are the African Americans. Now, these Africans were earlier brought as slaves. Their forefathers were brought as slaves to America. Now, gradually, their children, they are the Americans because they are born here now. So, even then, they are looked not as American citizens. They are not given the rights. So, this is despite the fact that there was a movement in late 1950s. Now, listen this very carefully to push for equal rights for African Americans. Before that, African Americans were treated extremely unequally in the United States and denied equality through law. A long agitation against the unequal ways in which African Americans were treated came to be known as civil rights movement. Underline this. The Civil Rights Act of 1964 prohibited discrimination on the basis of race, religion, or national origin. It is also stated that all schools would be open to African American children and that they would no longer have to attend separate schools especially set up for them. So now they are telling you in late 1950s African Americans they started agitating, they started protesting, they wanted their equal rights. Why? Because their forefathers were slaves and now the others, the children, they are not. So they are Americans, they were born here. So they should be given equal rights. And it was in United States of America that the civil rights movement was passed. A civil rights movement tells that the African Americans should be given equal status. They should be treated equally. Earlier, the children of these African Americans were asked to go to a separate school for studies, not with the white people. But now it is not so. A Civil Rights Act of 1964, please underline this date and the name. It asks that there should be no discrimination on the basis of religion. So now with this we come to an end of the chapter and we talked of the equality in other countries, how in Sri Lanka and in United States of America, when the people were not treated equally, there was discrimination. So there were certain upheavals, there were laws which stopped the children from, which stopped them from following inequality. I hope I'm clear till here.
Yes, ma'am.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, very good. So with this, we